Sir, step away from that person right now, please.
I'm his doctor. I'm performing emergency treatment here.
I don't care. This is a crime scene investigation.
Officer, this patient needs immediate care. I can't stop.
Okay, sure, you can explain downtown. Step back
I'm
now.
performing surgery. Any delay could be fatal here.
You're making this difficult. Hands where I can see them.
I'm Dr. Williams, Director of Emergency Medicine.
Sir, I need you to step away from the suspect right now. Trauma Bay 2, Metropolitan General Hospital, 11:51 p.m. The fluorescent lights were too bright, the way they always are in emergency rooms. The metallic smell of blood mixed with antiseptic. A cardiac monitor beeped urgently, fast, then faster. Blood pooled on the sterile floor despite the surgical drapes. I'm his doctor. I'm in the middle of a procedure. You need to leave this room immediately. Dr. Marcus Williams had both hands inside a 19-year-old's chest cavity, applying direct pressure to a bleeding vessel near the heart. He didn't look up. He couldn't. Sir, this is a crime scene. I'm ordering you to step away now. The monitor alarm escalated. Blood pressure dropping, 82/48, then 76/43. What happened in the next 8 minutes would cost a young man his life, destroy a police officer's career, and expose a dangerous pattern of racial profiling that had operated unchecked for 6 years. To understand how this moment would change everything, we need to know who Dr. Marcus Williams really was. Dr. Marcus Williams, 42 years old, Director of Emergency Medicine at Metropolitan General Hospital. He'd spent 15 years preparing for moments exactly like the one in Trauma Bay 2. Bachelor's degree in biology from Morehouse College, graduated magna cum laude, medical degree from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, emergency medicine residency at Massachusetts General Hospital, trauma surgery fellowship at the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Center, one of the most prestigious trauma programs in the country. 15 years in emergency medicine, over 2,300 trauma cases managed personally, an 89% survival rate in critical gunshot wound patients. The national average is 71%. He'd published 14 peer-reviewed articles on urban trauma care, testified as an expert witness in 8 medical malpractice cases, never on the wrong side. As Director of Emergency Medicine, Dr. Williams oversaw a 47-bed emergency department. He managed a $12.3 million annual budget. He supervised a team of 23 physicians and 67 nurses. The hospital's CEO had said this about him. Dr. Williams is quite simply the most skilled trauma surgeon I've worked with in 30 years of hospital administration. When there's a critical gunshot wound, every nurse in this building wants Marcus in that room. He grew up in West Baltimore, son of a school teacher and a postal worker. Every Saturday, he volunteered at a free clinic in the neighborhood where he grew up. He mentored pre-med students from underserved communities. His colleagues knew him as someone who stayed calm under pressure, who taught while he treated, who never lost a patient without exhausting every option. February 17, 2023, Friday night shift, historically the busiest trauma shift at Metropolitan General. On that night, none of his credentials would matter. But on February 17, 2023, Dr. Williams would encounter someone who saw none of those credentials, none of that expertise, none of that authority. Someone who only saw a black man standing over a gunshot victim. Officer Kyle Brennan, 34 years old, badge number 2847, 6-year veteran of the Metro City Police Department. He grew up in suburban Jefferson County. His father had been a sheriff's deputy for 22 years. Brennan joined MCPD specifically to work in high-crime areas, according to his academy application. He graduated in the middle of his academy class, scored 78% on use of force scenarios. His evaluation noted he needs improvement on de-escalation techniques. For 6 years, he'd been assigned to District 7, the area surrounding Metropolitan General Hospital. The district was predominantly black and Latino. Median household income, $34,000. His record showed 147 arrests over 6 years, 4 commendations for proactive policing. Supervisor evaluations consistently noted his aggressive approach to suspect apprehension. But there was something else in Officer Brennan's file. 11 formal complaints over 6 years. 9 from black citizens, 2 from Latino citizens, 0 from white citizens. 4 complaints alleged excessive force during arrest. 5 alleged racial profiling or unlawful stops. 2 alleged discourteous behavior. All 11 complaints had been investigated by then-Sergeant David Morrison, Brennan's direct supervisor. All 11 were marked unfounded or unsubstantiated. No disciplinary action was ever taken. Officer Brennan considered himself a real cop who doesn't back down. He told fellow officers he was tired of being soft on criminals. 3 months before February 17th, Sergeant Morrison had retired. His replacement, Lieutenant Patricia Chen, began requiring documented justification for all stops. On February 17, 2023, these 2 men, one who had saved hundreds of lives, one who had been accused 11 times of abusing his authority, were about to collide. And a 19-year-old gunshot victim was caught in the middle. Friday, February 17, 2023, 11:47 p.m., temperature 34 degrees, cold, clear night. Dr. Williams was 6 hours into his 12-hour night shift. He'd already treated 2 stabbings, 1 car accident, and 1 domestic violence injury. Standard Friday night volume. At 11:39 p.m. the radio squawked. GSW victim, conscious but deteriorating, 3 minutes out. The patient was Jamal Henderson, 19 years old, single gunshot wound to the left chest. He'd been found by patrol officers 3 blocks from the hospital. Officers routinely accompany gunshot victims to the ER, standard procedure for potential crime victims. Hospital policy was clear. Officers could observe, but they could not interfere with active medical treatment. Jamal Henderson arrived at 11:43 p.m. Dr. Williams was already scrubbed, gloved, and waiting in Trauma Bay 2. Within 90 seconds, his gloves were covered in blood. The entrance wound was near Henderson's heart, internal bleeding suspected, blood pressure dropping 90/52, heart rate elevated 126 beats per minute. The patient was conscious but fading. Officer Brennan had responded to the initial shooting call. He was one of 2 officers who transported Henderson to the hospital. He told ER security he needed to secure the suspect and get a statement. What Officer Brennan saw was a potential suspect. What he assumed was that the black man in scrubs standing over that suspect could be restrained, questioned, or removed without consequence. He was wrong on every count. At 11:51 p.m., exactly 4 minutes after Jamal Henderson arrived, Officer Brennan made a decision that would turn a routine trauma case into a wrongful death lawsuit, cost the city $38 million, and expose how racial assumptions can kill. 11:51 p.m. Dr. Williams had both hands inside Jamal Henderson's chest cavity. He was applying direct pressure to control the bleeding from a vessel near the heart. The cardiac monitor alarm escalated, blood pressure dropping 82/48. Officer Brennan entered Trauma Bay 2 without asking permission. His hand rested on his duty belt. "Sir, I need you to step away from the suspect. I need to secure him and get a statement." Dr. Williams didn't look up. His focus remained on the surgical field. "I'm his doctor. I'm in the middle of a procedure. You need to leave this room immediately." Nurse Garcia called out from the monitors. "Doctor, pressure's dropping 80/45. Officer Brennan moved closer, louder. "Sir, this is a crime scene. I'm ordering you to step away now." Dr. Williams' first thought was, is this officer seriously telling me to stop treating my patient? He continued working. "Nurse, I need 2 units O-negative and someone get security to remove this officer." 11:52 p.m. Blood pressure 76/43, critical range. Brennan stepped directly beside Dr. Williams, now inches from the surgical field. "I don't know who you are, but this is police business." Dr. Williams finally made eye contact. I'm Dr. Marcus Williams. I'm the Director of Emergency Medicine. This is MY Trauma Bay. You are interfering with patient care. Brennan's expression didn't change. I don't care what you say you are. Anyone can claim that. Step away or I'll place you under arrest for obstruction. Nurse Garcia pointed to the wall. Officer, his badge is on the wall right there. He's telling you the truth. Brennan glanced at the wall. He didn't move. Badges can be faked, sir. Final warning. Dr. Williams, hand still inside the patient's chest, voice rising for the first time. This man is dying. If I stop now, he will die. Do you understand that? From the gurney, Jamal Henderson whispered, "Please, don't stop, Doc." The monitor alarm changed pitch, continuous tone. Blood pressure, 70/40. 11:53 p.m. Officer Brennan reached for Dr. Williams' arm. Dr. Williams pulled back instinctively, breaking contact with the bleeding vessel. Blood flow increased dramatically. "Doctor, we're losing him." Nurse Garcia's voice was urgent. "I have to get back in now. Officer, you're killing this patient. Put your hands where I can see them and step back from the suspect." Dr. Williams made a split-second decision. He removed his hands from the chest cavity to prevent being forcibly restrained. Blood pressure, 65/38. Williams pointed to the surgical field, blood dripping from his gloves. "Every second I'm not controlling that bleed, he's losing blood. His name is Jamal Henderson. He's 19 years old, and if he dies, it's on you." The trauma bay doors opened. Officer Rodriguez, Brennan's partner, entered. Confusion crossed his face. "Brennan, what the hell are you doing? That's a doctor." 11:54 p.m. Rodriguez tried to de-escalate. "Kyle, we need to let him work." Brennan, defensive. "We don't know who he is. He could be involved. End the shooting." Dr. Williams' voice was controlled fury. "I'm the director of this emergency department. My name is on the door you walked through. Badge number 2847. That's you, right? I'm filing a formal complaint with your department and the hospital's legal counsel. Now get out so I can try to save this kid's life." Another ER physician, Dr. Chen, rushed in. "Marcus, what's happening?" "This officer detained me mid-procedure. I've lost 3 minutes of critical time." Dr. Chen turned to Brennan. "That's Dr. Williams. He runs this ER. You need to leave immediately." 11:55 p.m. Officer Brennan finally backed away. Recognition, then panic. Dr. Williams scrubbed again, pulled on new gloves and returned to his patient. Blood pressure, 58/35, approaching non-recoverable range. "Clamp now, we're out of time." Dr. Williams worked for another 17 minutes. He did everything medicine could do, but the 3 minutes Officer Brennan took from him were 3 minutes Jamal Henderson didn't have. 11:56 p.m. to 12:08 a.m. Dr. Williams performed an emergency thoracotomy, fully opening the chest to access the heart and major vessels. He found the bleeding vessel. He repaired it. But Jamal Henderson had lost too much blood. 4 units transfused. Blood pressure wouldn't stabilize. "Start CPR, push epi, we're not giving up." 13 minutes of resuscitation, chest compressions, medications, defibrillation. No cardiac activity. Nurse Garcia quietly, "Marcus, he's gone." 12:09 a.m., February 18, 2023. Dr. Williams called the time of death. The only sound in Trauma Bay 2 was the flatline monitor. Dr. Williams removed his gloves. His hands were shaking. Blood covered his gown. Hospital security chief entered. "Dr. Williams, we have the body camera footage from both officers. We're securing it now." Dr. Williams walked out of the trauma bay. Officer Brennan was still in the ER waiting area. Their conversation was witnessed by 6 hospital staff members. It was recorded on both body cameras. "Badge number 2847, what's your name?" "Officer Kyle Brennan." "Officer Brennan, that patient died. His name was Jamal Henderson. He might have survived if I'd had those 3 minutes you took from me. I need you to answer something. What reasonable suspicion did you have to detain me? Brennan stammered. You were, I thought, you were working on a suspect in a shooting. He was a patient. What made you think I was involved in the crime? I didn't know you were a doctor. I told you I was a doctor. I was wearing scrubs in a hospital trauma bay. I had my hands inside a patient's chest. What exactly did you think I was doing? Silence. Did it occur to you that a black man in a hospital might actually work there? Or did you just see a black man and assume criminal? Officer Brennan's body camera captured his silence, his inability to provide any legal justification. Dr. Williams' final statement. I'm the director of this emergency department. You just interfered with active medical care under my supervision. I'm reporting this to your chain of command, hospital administration, and our legal team. That young man's family deserves to know why he didn't get every possible chance to survive. Officer Brennan left Metropolitan General Hospital at 12:34 a.m. By 1:15 a.m., Dr. Williams had filed formal complaints with 3 separate entities: MCPD Internal Affairs, the hospital's Risk Management Department, and the State Medical Board Ethics Hotline. By 8:00 a.m., the Henderson family had retained attorneys. By noon, the body camera footage was in the hands of investigators who would discover this wasn't even close to Brennan's first violation. The irony would emerge later. Dr. Williams wasn't just any doctor. As emergency department director, he served on the hospital's police liaison committee. He personally reviewed protocols for officer interactions with medical staff. 8 months earlier, Dr. Williams had conducted a mandatory training seminar for MCPD officers, including Officer Brennan's unit, on hospital procedures. The topic: never interfering with active medical treatment. Officer Brennan had signed the attendance sheet. The hospital's response was immediate. CEO Dr. Patricia Hendricks placed Dr. Williams on paid administrative leave, standard protocol after any patient death. She convened an emergency review board. She contacted the hospital's insurance carrier and legal team. Metropolitan General's security preserved all footage, both officers' body cameras and 3 hospital security cameras. At 2:30 a.m., Dr. Williams called the Henderson family personally to explain what had happened. By 2:00 p.m. that afternoon, the Henderson family gave a press conference. They called Jamal's death preventable and caused by racial profiling. Jamal Henderson was a college freshman, honor student. He worked part-time at a community center. He had no criminal record. He was a bystander, hit by a stray bullet in a gang-related shooting. MCPD issued a brief statement calling the incident under investigation. They placed Officer Brennan on desk duty, not suspension. 3 separate investigations would eventually examine what happened in Trauma Bay 2. But it was the Internal Affairs investigation, the one that went beyond just February 17th, that would uncover a pattern so disturbing it would trigger a federal civil rights probe. Internal Affairs assigned 2 senior investigators: Sergeant James Thompson, an 18-year veteran with 127 prior investigations, and Detective Maria Castellanos, who specialized in officer misconduct cases. The investigation took 6 weeks, March 1st to April 15th, 2023. They reviewed 43 minutes of body camera footage from Brennan and Rodriguez, 78 minutes of hospital security camera footage, 11 dispatch recordings, 6 years of personnel files. They interviewed 23 witnesses, ER staff, other officers, and, critically, previous complainants. An independent trauma surgeon reviewed the medical evidence. His conclusion: the 3-minute delay substantially decreased survival probability from approximately 65% to less than 15%. Dr. Williams sat for an 8-hour deposition over 2 days. He cooperated fully. Officer Brennan was interviewed twice. His defense: I didn't realize he was a doctor. I was just doing my job securing a crime scene. He couldn't explain why he'd ignored Dr. Williams' repeated identifications. He couldn't articulate what criminal activity he'd observed. Retired Sergeant Morrison, Brennan's former supervisor, refused to be interviewed. He cited his retirement status. But it was the deep dive into Brennan's complaint history that changed everything. 11 previous complaints, all dismissed by Morrison. The investigators contacted every complainant. Complaint number 1, April 2018. Marcus Johnson, 37, corporate attorney, stopped outside the courthouse after a hearing. Johnson showed his bar association card. Brennan demanded additional ID. When Johnson questioned the legal basis for the stop, Brennan arrested him for disorderly conduct. Charges were dropped the next day. Morrison's finding: unfounded, officer had reasonable suspicion based on anonymous tip. Complaint number 3, August 2019. Dr. Angela Martinez, 41, family physician, stopped outside her own clinic. Brennan accused her of trespassing. She showed her medical license and clinic key. Brennan detained her for 20 minutes while he verified her credentials. Morrison's finding: unsubstantiated conflicting accounts. Complaint number 7, March 2021. Reverend Thomas Wright, 56, pastor, detained outside his church during Sunday service. Brennan said Wright looked like he was casing the building. Wright was wearing clerical vestments. Morrison's finding: unfounded, officer exercising reasonable caution in high-crime area. The pattern was undeniable. 9 of 11 complaints involved Black or Latino professionals detained in or near their own workplaces. Lieutenant Chen requested a statistical analysis. The results: Officer Brennan's stop rates were 340% higher for Black civilians compared to the department average. 89% of his arrests involved people of color. District 7's demographics: 62% people of color. The investigators found 4 other victims who had never filed formal complaints. They'd been identified through arrest records and field interview cards. Janet Foster, Black social worker, 2020, detained while conducting a welfare check on a client. Brennan refused to verify her credentials with her agency. He held her for 45 minutes. She never filed a complaint. "I didn't think anyone would believe me," she told investigators. Sergeant Morrison's protection pattern was equally clear. He dismissed 11 out of 11 of Brennan's complaints, but Morrison dismissed only 43% of complaints against other officers. The department average was 54%. The Internal Affairs final report was 47 pages. Policy violations: interference with medical personnel, Policy 4.17. Failure to follow hospital liaison protocols, Policy 8.32. Inadequate justification for detention, Policy 3.04. Constitutional violations: Fourth Amendment, unlawful detention without reasonable suspicion. Potential 14th Amendment violation, selective enforcement based on race. The report's conclusion: Officer Brennan demonstrated a consistent pattern of detaining Black and Latino professionals based on assumptions inconsistent with observable facts and without reasonable articulable suspicion. Sergeant Morrison's investigation methodology for Officer Brennan complaints was statistically anomalous and failed to meet department standards, creating conditions that allowed constitutional violations to continue unchecked. James Whitmore, the civil rights attorney retained by the Henderson family, said, "This wasn't on a bad night. This was a 6-year pattern of racial profiling that a supervisor actively protected and that ultimately killed an innocent teenager." The medical board finding was equally clear. Dr. Williams' care met all standards. Patient death directly attributable to treatment delay caused by officer interference. The Internal Affairs report made 4 recommendations: immediate termination of Officer Brennan, administrative review of all cases investigated by retired Sergeant Morrison, mandatory retraining for all patrol officers, and referral to the district attorney for potential criminal